You are not going to believe the story I have for you today. Seriously. It's got everything. A disgraced crypto billionaire, a jail in Brooklyn, and a full-blown economy that runs, I kid you not, entirely on packets of fish. All right, you gotta hear this. So let me just ask you this. Picture it. You once ran a multi-billion-dollar empire. Private jets, penthouses, you name it. Now you're locked up, and you just need a simple haircut, to look decent for the jury that's about to decide the rest of your life. How do you pay for it? What do you do? That's the answer. Not cash, not crypto, not some backroom favor. 4 foil pouches of preserved mackerel. And that right there, that's the beginning of our story. It's how the king of digital money got a crash course in the world's most, fishy currency. To really get this, we have to look at our main character not as the high-flying CEO he was, but as just another inmate with a really simple human problem. Yep, this is Sam Bankman-Fried, or SBF, and you probably remember his signature look, right? That huge, messy afro that kind of screamed, "I'm a quirky genius, too busy changing the world for a comb." But in front of a jury? Yeah, that look doesn't exactly scream innocent. He had to get it cut, but his billion-dollar fortune was completely useless in here. So here's how it went down. He finds another inmate who moonlights as a barber. They negotiate a price. SBF then heads to the prison store, the commissary, and makes a withdrawal. He comes back with 4 pouches of mackerel, hands them over, and boom, gets his haircut. He had just made his first trade in what the inmates call the mackerel economy. Okay, hold on. We have to rewind. Because to really get how absolutely insane this fish transaction is, you have to remember who Sam Bankman-Fried was just a year before this. In November of 2022, that was his net worth, $26 billion. As the head of the crypto exchange FTX, he wasn't just in the financial world, he was on top of it. I mean, the guy was a legend. He was living in this insane penthouse in the Bahamas, flying everywhere on private jets, and was famous for moving billions of dollars around with a click of a mouse, all while playing video games. He wasn't just rich, people thought he was the future of money. And this just says it all. The whiplash is unbelievable. From a $26 billion empire to haggling with fish packets to get a trim, the sheer scale of that fall is hard to even wrap your head around. So that brings us to the prison's own kind of bizarre financial system. See, this wasn't just some random one-off trade. This is a structured, established economy with its own currency. But why fish? Of all things, why fish? To understand why mackerel works as money, we gotta do a quick Econ 101 refresher. For anything to work as currency, it just needs a few basic things going for it. It has to be durable, so it doesn't fall apart. It needs to be portable and easy to carry. And each one has to be pretty much the same as the next. Now, for decades, in prisons, cigarettes were the perfect currency. They checked all the boxes. But then, in 2004, the feds banned smoking in prisons, and the entire prison economy just crashed. It created this huge vacuum. Inmates tried other stuff. Stamps got wet and soggy, power bars just got eaten. The market was desperate for a new gold standard. And eventually, it landed on the Mac. So let's really get into the economics of this, because how on earth did this specific, and let's be honest, kind of gross-tasting fish become the perfect form of currency inside a federal prison? Well, the Mac is kind of perfect. First off, the foil pouches are tough. They have real-world use. Protein is super valuable in prison. The commissary limits how many you can buy, which creates scarcity. Every single pouch is identical, standardized. But here's the absolute kicker, the real genius of the mackerel. They taste awful. Nobody actually wants to eat them, so you're never tempted to consume your cash. It's meant for spending, not eating. And what that makes it, believe it or not, is a fiat currency. The MAC has value for the exact same reason a dollar bill has value. It's not because the paper itself is worth anything. It's because we all, as a society, just agree that it's worth something. Inside the prison walls, everyone agrees. The MAC is money. And it's not just random trading. Oh no, a whole shadow market popped up with set prices for everything. A haircut normally goes for 2 max. So the fact that SBF paid 4? Whoa. Either he got totally ripped off, or he was paying, a billionaire's premium. A shoe shine will run you 1 mac. There are even lenders, inmates acting like banks, charging absolutely insane interest rates. Okay, so here's the thing.
This isn't just a funny anecdote about life on the inside. For Sam Bankman-Fried, of all people, this is a perfect, almost poetic reflection of his entire career. The irony is just staggering.
I mean, just look at this side by side. It's incredible. SBF created his own crypto token, FTT. What gave it value? Collective belief. What gives the mackerel its value? Collective belief. What was the tangible asset backing FTT? Nothing, just code on a server. The mackerel? Well, at least it's a pouch of oily fish you can hold. SBF used FTT to buy power and political influence. In prison, he uses fish to buy a haircut. They're basically the same type of belief-based money. So when you really think about it, he didn't escape the world of abstract money when he got locked up. He just traded a currency that lived on the internet for one that lives in foil pouches. He didn't change his business model. He just downgraded. And maybe the most brilliant take on this whole thing comes from a former inmate who said the Mac is actually better than Bitcoin. Why? Because if the whole system collapses, hey, at least you can eat the fish. And that kind of leaves you wondering, what is money, really? And what is anything actually worth?